overcorrected it. So all these, when we take the semi-digested object and put a dot enhance, dot enhance, dot enhance, the input parameter is always following this convention. So 1, if you put a 1, then there's no enhancement. It's times 1, right? If you put a 0, then it's like times 0. So total blackness come out. And if you put larger than 1, then it is pushing up the enhancement, whatever it is. So color enhancement, we push up the color. So it becomes more distinct. Orange becomes more orange. Red becomes brighter red, not redder red, but brighter red. Yellow becomes more brilliant yellow, and so on. And dark becomes darker. So that's color enhancement. And usually we need to do a little bit of that. So maybe times 1.1, something like that. Then we can enhance the contrast. So this is what is seen here without all other effects. So we start from original image again. We create a semi-digested object that is meant for enhancement. And then we can enhance once. We can enhance again to get many, many pictures from there. Right? So that the heavy lifting creation of the dot contrast enhancer has been processed one time, we can enhance many, many times. So contrast makes all the pixels more distinguishable, and in terms of brightness, color, and everything. So you can always get this brightness and contrast in your television. You can play around with that and see. Then we have brightness, yes, right? So this is a bit over flooded with brightness. We want to tone down the brightness, but times 2 is just to show you brightness is really there. So if we times 0.9, enhance bracket 0.9, then it's going to dim it a little bit, reduce the darkness, maybe because the source image is a bit overexposed, like this case. Okay. Then we have sharpness, which is yet another quality of the picture, not describable by the first 3, which is to make I won't say every pixel, but all the pixels look more distinct, more distinct, a bit sharpened, right? More enhanced. The edges look clean, more clean cut. But that is not always the case when we say sharper is better, because if your source image is very low in resolution, when you sharpen it, you will see a lot of pixelations, and that is not very pretty, right? Because the whole idea about enhancement is to make it look pretty relative to our eyes. So it should look good. The image should look, wow, nice. So very, very subjective. And yes, so this whole module here is meant for human satisfaction. Okay, it's not an absolute measurement. What looks nice to one person can look to be improved, right, to a professional person who looks at a lot of images. So yeah, so understand the role of this and not try to use this for scientific purposes, for various serious calculation purposes. Okay. Then we talk about filter operations. Filter operations, that is the more serious stuff, but not necessarily pretty. In fact, it looks I will say not pretty, because it's in the eyes of the beholder. If you're looking at facial recognition, image detection, edge detection, object recognition, etc., all these various cool operations, right? You will love this. You have to deal with all these. Yeah. So filter operations are not meant really for human entertainment or human enjoyment of the picture. Rather, it's trying to tease out some aspects of the image that are interesting, right? Maybe mathematically, maybe scientifically, maybe image-wise, maybe towards a certain goal, like identifying a face, identify the car number plate, identify the road border. So all these are image filtering operations. And how do we go about that? There are some standard ones. Blurring the image to make it blurrer. Basically, is to take average of the neighboring pixels, and the effect is the image is blurrer. So calculation is averaging, but end result to our eyes is it's blurrer, right? Then we can talk about contouring. What's contouring? Find the depth right? The contour of the colors or the luminance and all that. So it's to see if most of the colors are more or less the same, or there is quite a different layer to it. Now, sometimes our eyes don't tell the whole story. What is supposed to be yellowish can have several layers, pretty distinctly different layers of yellows or browns or orange, and it's not very clear to our eyes. Okay, then we do need contouring to really distinguish some of those borders or layers. And we have details, enhance more, and this is edge enhancement. Edge enhancement is different from just contrasting. So it is to detect edges. Edge detection is a serious stuff. Image processing stuff. That's the beginning of allowing Python and computer in general to see things, because you don't want to bump into things, right? You need to know where the boundary of an object inside the image lies. Where does it start? Where does it end? So that I know if I move in this direction, I'm not bumping into something. So that's the beginning of uh, um, vision, right? So embossing here, embossing is, I mean, the effects is kind of desirable in certain cases, but it is also some sort of a filtering. Fine edges, yeah, that's serious stuff. Find the edges. Here, it's not so clear because it's pretty much reduced, but for a large, high resolution picture, the fine edges will allow us to begin to form shapes, because shapes are formed by the edges. So pretty cool stuff start from here. We can smooth and then smooth more and then sharpen correspondingly through filtering operations as well. All right, so here under image filter sublibrary, so we import image and then we import image filter. The image filters sharpen and blurring, right? And smoothing is different from image enhance submodules, sharpen and blurring and smoothing. And they are meant for different goals. So the tuning parameters and the way they work may, on a very coarse high level that we just casually take a look, might seem similar, but the goals are different. So the ability to tune them, the ability to be useful in subsequent high level operations like face recognition, edge detection, and all that will be very different. So don't try to mix them up. Use image filter for serious pipelining image operations, and image enhancer for end products that are meant for human consumption.